Hey everyone, so I'm back again with another video. This time around I have some more retro video games to show you guys. I got these over the course of the last week, and I think I have some interesting stuff here, and probably a couple of things I should have left behind, but you'll learn from your mistakes. I guess to start out with one mistake, I thought this was a decent deal. Until I figured out that I really can't get rid of this, and I have no use for this at all, so I'm pretty much going to hold on to this until I can make a bundle. I got a PS1 Slim. I found it at the Value Village in a bag with the power adapter, the AV cable, and the original PlayStation controller for $7.99. You can see it there, $7.99, but I really can't get much on trade credit for this. I did find one game a couple days later at a Salvation Army, and I'll show you guys that in just a second. I found a complete Black Label copy of Final Fantasy VIII at the Salvation Army that I usually go to, and that one was only $3.99. And I do have a Greatest Hits copy over here that is also complete and also in mint condition. So I was thinking of possibly bundling this with the PS1 that I got there and try to get rid of that, but I don't know if that'll happen. But at least now I have a complete and great condition copy. It even includes the mini walkthrough guide, so it's pretty good. My copy didn't have that, but then again, I think the Greatest Hits copy didn't come with it, because I'm almost certain I bought that brand new just recently. Next up, at the Value Village on another day, I go in, I don't see any games at all. There was nothing that day, and even the next day after, there were no new DVDs out. I looked around, there wasn't like anything really, not even cruddy games. Today though, when I went and looked, they at least took the old sports games that had filled up an entire shelf. They took those out, put them in the back somewhere, or threw them out. I'm not too certain, but those weren't there anymore. I went to the shelf. I shouldn't call it a shelf. To the area where they have bags of random electronics and cables and stuff like that. And I found this, and I'm really happy that I found this. It's a controller for a Nintendo system. Basically, it's a color variant, one that I don't have, and actually, this is my only official controller now for this system. It's the Jungle Green N64 controller, and they had it priced for $4.99. The stick is just a little bit loose, if you can sort of see that. It just jiggles a little bit, but otherwise it's perfectly usable. And yeah, that was $4.99, and I looked through the entire store hoping that there was a Jungle Green system there, but there wasn't one, unless of course they put them out at separate times and somebody else had previously gotten the system, or they haven't put out the system yet, but who knows, maybe there wasn't anything at all. But then today when I went to the Value Village, they had a copy of Perfect Dark for the N64 for $9.99, and I didn't get it. $9.99 just wasn't a good enough deal on it. Considering I already have the game, if I were to trade it for something else, it just, I couldn't get much out of it. Now, the same day as I found the N64 controller, I did look around. I looked through the board games, because every so often there are some old PC games there, and I found this one PC game, and well, the kind of sucky thing is that it's missing. I believe it was supposed to come with 3.5-inch floppies as well, but inside were only the 5.25-inch floppies. The game itself is called Shadowlands, and it was only 99 cents, and I pretty much decided to get this because, well, I like the box art on it. I can't really play this. I don't have a 5 1/4 inch floppy drive. I don't have a 3.5. A 3.5 inch floppy drive either. So there's no way of me actually playing these games. But every so often, when I see a PC game like this, an older PC game for $1 or maybe even $2, and it has a nice enough box, I just go ahead and grab it anyways. Now, today I went to the Value Village, didn't find anything except for that Perfect Dark, but I couldn't bring myself to get that because it just wasn't a good enough deal. And I ended up going to another Value Village, one that I've never been to before, and I actually didn't realize how close it was to this one. And I think I'm happy that I went to that one. I didn't expect to find anything there, and I ended up finding a whole bunch of stuff. Basically, there was a pile of Wii games, but they all sucked. There was I can't remember which one, but there was a James Bond game for the PS1 there. I didn't end up getting it. They had a PS2 multi-tap, an original model Xbox 360 with no cables and no nothing. They had a PS1, the original model PlayStation, with one controller, and everything was priced decently. They even had a Wii system, but it had no Wii remote. It had everything else except for a Wii remote, and they wanted $34.99 for it, which is okay if you're looking to buy a Wii to own one, but if you're looking to trade it for something else, that's not a good deal at all. They had fair prices, and I went to their display case. They had a copy of, well, it was some kind of an E.T. game, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, an E.T. game for the Game Boy Color, but they wanted $4.99 for it, and I didn't get it, mostly because I didn't have the money after I found a couple of other things. So I went first to the display case, looked around, and I looked through all the games that they had there, and I looked through the DVDs. I got a couple of DVDs, and with the extra stamps that I got on my 30% off stamp card, I had 30% off on these items here. So I ended up saving, how much was it? I believe I saved about $1.50, $1.50, and $4.50. So $7.50 I saved on all these. I paid $24, I believe. I already forgot. I think I paid around $24 for everything together. First up here, this isn't, well, it's technically an old game, so I thought I'd show it in this video, even though it's compatible with the PS2 and Xbox, but it's a DVD video game. It's the Dragon's Lair 28th Anniversary Special Edition. It features Dragon's Lair, Dragon's Lair 2 Time Warp, and Space Ace. You can see them all there. And I looked this up after, like, they had a price of $7.99, so I thought, well, 30% off, it'll be $6.50, so it was an okay enough deal. And I do like Dragon's Lair, so I went ahead and decided to buy this, and I looked it up afterwards, only to find out that this is kind of hard to find, and on eBay, the prices were all over the place. The minimum selling prices, like the price that people would actually pay for it, was about $30, but I saw other ones going for like $98. I saw one for, I can't remember right now, like $54. I saw prices all over the place, and on Amazon, I don't usually pay attention to Amazon prices because they're ridiculous, and they're usually from stores or online companies or whatever that want to make money and don't really care what the prices are like. There they had them all priced. I believe there was a used one for like $118 or something. and all the other ones were brand new, and they had them priced at like $200. But yeah, I got this for $650 after the discount, and it has, like I said, all three movies in there. Well, all three interactive movies. I haven't tested these out to see how they will play, like if you're able to use a PS2 or Xbox controller to actually play this. I know it says that for playing this on the Xbox, you do need the DVD adapter sort of set. I think they called it, yeah, the DVD movie playback kit. That's what it's officially called. But who knows how it'll play, really. I'll have to test it out another day. I really didn't have time to get around to testing this because of the next stuff that I got here. Now, I was really happy that I ended up going to this location because I found some stuff that I just have never found at a Value Village in the past. First up is a game that previously has been overpriced consistently at Value Village, and it's a game that I already have, but the label on mine is nearly destroyed, so this is definitely an upgrade for me. So for $7.99 minus 30% off, so minus $1.50, is a copy of Super Mario World. And let me just get it out of here. So yeah, the label is like pretty decent. I can't say there's anything really bad with it. It just looks like there's a little bit of residue from something, but that could be wiped off. Not that you can really tell. On camera, it looks pretty perfect. And the cartridge itself has no discolorations, so that's good as well. But I found this, and I turned the corner, and I see the shelf that had the PS2, PS1, original model Xbox 360, and I see this. And I think for $14.99 this was a good deal. It was $14.99 minus 30% off, so it came to $10.50. And I thought it was a good deal, but I'm having some difficulty getting this to work. It's a very, very yellowed Super Nintendo, and it is missing chips in the front corners there, and in the back corners. Otherwise, it looked just fine. A thing that I didn't realize, though, was that the power supply that was included was a third-party sort of multi-console power supply, and it actually doesn't output enough for the Super Nintendo. So what I read online was that because this is a third-party adapter, it might be causing the issue that I'm having with this. Basically, the game starts, but then it sort of resets back to the beginning, and it'll play for a couple of minutes, and then it'll just reset back to the beginning, to like the startup screen. And other times it'll just loop on the startup screen back to back to back. And I mean, without an official Super Nintendo power supply to test it out, I pretty much think that's what the problem is. Other people online were saying that it's bad capacitors that causes the problem like that, but I opened it up and I didn't see any blown capacitors at all, from my understanding at least. I know what they're supposed to look like, and I checked for that, and they look just fine. So I'm almost certain the issue is with the very cheap third-party power supply. And it's just kind of strange because you'd expect this, like a power supply this size, to have some heft to it. It feels like it's entirely hollow, like there's nothing in there. Like it's literally plug here and then a wire, and it connects down here, and that's it. It's just a big empty box. But it did come with 2 controllers. Let me just get them from over here. And be careful not to drop them. It came with 2 official Super Nintendo controllers. And sadly, it came with an RF switch and not the Nintendo AV cable, but I have extras of those, so it's no big deal. And I'm really happy to finally get some Super Nintendo controllers, and while I just saw that this video is over 15 minutes long, so I'll try to wrap this up now. I'm really happy to get some Super Nintendo controllers. To this point, I only had one third-party Super Nintendo controller, the one that came with my Retro Duo. And the reason why I didn't really have the Super Nintendo to this point, other than the fact that I couldn't find one for a cheap enough price, is because I had the Retro Duo, and I was able to play my Super Nintendo games on that. And I also later on got a Superboy. I just couldn't remember what it was called, so I had to look down at it. It's in my drawer right here beneath my computer. I ended up getting a Superboy, and I've been playing my Super Nintendo games on that mostly. But now I have some actual Super Nintendo controllers. I'm very happy about that. And at least for the $10 that I paid, if the power supply, like if I can't get a power supply for cheap enough, then, I mean, really 2 controllers for $10 isn't that bad of a deal. It's definitely not a great deal, but it's not that bad of a deal. And hopefully this does work just fine, and the issue really is with this third-party sort of cheap power supply. Hopefully that is the issue, and everything will be worked out. Anyways, thank you if you lasted all the way almost 17 minutes into this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, leave comments in the comment section below. Anything you'd like to say, comments, questions, suggestions, ideas, anything at all, and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Check out my Facebook, Twitter, website. They're all linked in the description below. Follow, like, just check me out in all my other forms of social media there, and on my website, where I post reviews every so often. I really don't have a schedule to that yet, but I probably should put out a schedule. But yeah, just check me out wherever you can, and let me know what you think. Anyways, that's it, and see ya.